Welcome back, everybody. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Aaron.
This is our show, CryptoCosm, where I talk about the astrological forecasts.
And I bring you your daily crypto news. And we got plenty of news going on happening right now. You know, we used to have 4 coins above that $1,000 mark, and now we only have 1.
Yeah, we need Moses to come down and part this Red Sea, because
That's what I'm saying.
swimming.
So let's start from the top. We got Bitcoin nearing 6,600 at this present moment. We've got Ethereum at 660. We have Bitcoin Cash at about 890. Litecoin at 117. And Dash, which was the 4th coin that used to be above $1,000, now lingering at a mere $424.
Which is almost the biggest drop of them all.
Yes.
I mean, well, next to Bitcoin, but
I mean,
holy
we're seeing
smokes.
these
What?
prices are a third of what they used to be, and that's pretty close to the total market cap. We're just over 333 billion now, where we were at 850 billion. I mean, we've just chopped it into a third of what we've seen, and there's so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt all over the globe. And statistically,
Are you FUDing?
2 out of 3 people are FUDing.
2 out of 3, every 2 out of 3 people are FUDing. There's gonna be a commercial, or like there's gonna be like a lady leaning against the wall.
Say,
Are you FUDing right now?
yeah, I'm sure there's people making a killing off it. I'm sure somebody's had. If you're the guy that mortgaged his house to go into Bitcoin at 20K, I'll tell you what. Yeah, you're probably seeing somebody for that right now.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, probably a divorce lawyer.
There's a lot of reasons for this fear, uncertainty, and doubt if you're the ones buying into it. I mean, we have credit card companies now, as of 1 or 2 days ago, JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Lloyds Banking Group over in Britain and the UK have now banned purchasing cryptocurrency with credit cards.
Banned.
And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, my cube mate at work has purchased crypto with his credit cards because the interest rate was a lot better in the crypto gains for a little while. But
Not how it's looking.
no, that was very, very short-lived, and I don't think they would have had a problem with it if the gains kept going up. But now that we're slashing those prices, they've had to put a stop to it. And that's just like it is in the mutual funds and the stock games. Unless you're an accredited investor, you're not going to be able to just whip out your credit card and go, give me everything on the left side of the menu.
Right.
It just doesn't really work like that.
Now, what I think is interesting about this, you know, we like to tie in times from present to the past. You know, when we just got done talking about this, you know, 1934, 1933 Uranus was in Aries just like it is now, moving into Taurus, which it will on May 15th. And in 1933, what was it? We had it was illegal to carry gold. It was illegal.
Yep. April 5th, 1933, Roosevelt had an executive order that it was illegal to hoard gold bullion.
Which is interesting, and how we're seeing that reflect. Well, I mean, it's not illegal, you know. And let's talk about what that was. Is it China that's saying it's not illegal, but it's not legal at the same time?
India's financial
India.
minister
Thank
just
you.
come out and said, and has been misinterpreted, but stated that crypto is not a legal tender.
Right.
Well, you know what? Neither are baseball cards, but
Not
some of those
a
are worth
legal
thousands of
tender,
dollars.
but it's not an illegal tender. And like
Correct.
Aaron just said, a baseball card. You know, you get a Michael Jordan rookie card to the right buyer, that's
one.
worth thousands and thousands of dollars, or pennies, depending if you put it in the spikes of your, you know, bicycle.
That's right. So there was a lot of FUD spread on that because it was misinterpreted and everybody started freaking out. Well, that's kind of the global stance with the U.S., with China, with Russia now. No, it's not legal tender. It's not an actual banknote or a coin. So they aren't going to deem those things as legal tender.
But yet there's, right now that I know of, 6 in Detroit alone, you know, ATM machines for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. You can go buy, you can pull out. There's tons of them in Vegas, right? I mean, they're in Ann Arbor, they're in California, they're everywhere. So
right.
This is really confusing when it's like, it's legal, but it's not legal. It's a currency, but it's not. It almost reminds me, you know, completely off topic, but this weird thing that's happening with medicinal marijuana right now. You know, it's just like, it's illegal on a federal level, but on states it's regulated. But sometimes the feds can overrule it. It's like this really gray territory that...
So you could be standing on one side of the line and be arrested for holding, and stand on the other side of the line and be free and clear. It's fascinating.
Wow. And then there's, you know, there's like Colorado, Chicago, Washington, you know, there's...
Maryland.
There's some states that it's completely legal, and holy smokes, they are economy-wise are doing phenomenal. Anyway, so hopefully that, this coin stuff, because whatever about the medicinal stuff, there's a lot of benefits to it, but there's a lot of benefits in these coins too. So let's get back on.
So back to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We also have increasing notices where Chase Bank and PNC Bank, the big dogs, if you will, are closing down bank accounts. Closing them down.
And is it for buying or putting back in?
You see some mixed messages. A lot of them are related to the individuals that have made money and then pulled the money out. And they're withdrawing from these crypto exchanges, and they're seeing the transactions to and from. Most of the reports that I've seen, it's when individuals are withdrawing large amounts of money into their bank account where they go, hang on, you know what, we don't like this. Guess what? We're going to close your account.
Which is really strange because if I just walked in with a bunch of cash to my local I'm a credit union person, they'd be really happy. Let's just be honest. They'd be like, oh, Mr. Eschenberg, why, thank you so much for your deposit today.
You're the fourth person that's walked through that door all year.
Yeah, I'm like, why, thank you so much for this mega loads and you just pulled up and, But that's not the case here. They're saying that this is bad.
There's something to be said about that. There is definitely something to be said about that.
Money's money, right?
They know it's a detriment to the banking system. Here, in this world, we literally have Swiss bank accounts in our pockets, on our cell phones, on our ledgers, some of them can put them on a piece of paper, and it's really the change of the tides here in terms of how things are happening now.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want to take a look at in particular is Bitcoin. It's $660 at this present moment.
6,000.
6,000, I'm sorry.
$6,600
Bitcoin. So if you look back where we were in December, we were ranking right at $20,000.
Toward the end.
It was beautiful. It was like music to everybody's ears.
It went from what? Beginning December 1st, about $11,000 to
November to December, it was for that was our $10,000 climb.
Yeah.
10,000 to 20,000. We look a little bit before that. We were ranging another 2 months before that. We were at $3,000 to $5,000. So we had this massive 2/3 jump in price,
right,
or 300% jump in price.
Gains, yeah.
And now what we're seeing is the fallout or the correction, if you will. Now, right now with Bitcoin at $6,660.
I'll take 5.
It's a premonition. I hope it doesn't go down that low. But right now, what we saw is that price drop right down to that 78.6 retracement level.
Now, when you say 78.6, I'm the planets guy. What does that mean?
The 78.6% retracement level is the optimal buyback in point for a currency or a stock or things like that. It's kind of like a 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, if you will.
Okay.
So what we saw is we saw the charts come down. We saw it hit the 78.6 retracement level. And then all of a sudden, once it hit that level, it got bought back up.
Now, how does that happen? Is this, because to me it looks like, when I look at the chart, that it looked automated to me. It was so precise and instantaneous.
Absolutely. So when individuals are selling their cryptocurrency, or they're getting rid of it, they're getting rid of it typically to, in this type of market, to individuals that are paying less than market value. So they're fulfilling all these orders of people that are just waiting to kind of buy in. Once it hits this point, oh yeah, now I'll take it. So what we see is once it hits the 78.6 and people go, oh, wait, this
78.6 decrease.
78.6 decrease. Everybody goes, like the investors, et cetera, the individuals who are familiar with the patterns that play out in this game.
The ups and downs, yeah.
They say this is the point to buy back in. Now, we've hit that just now.
We hit it.
We hit it. The question is are we going to bounce back up from this point or not, or are we going to keep going lower? Now, it's going to be really, really interesting to see, if we're going to be really entering the bear market or if we're going to be going into a normal consolidation for Bitcoin. If we go into a normal consolidation for Bitcoin, right where we're at is perfect. This is normal. It's nothing to freak out about.
Right.
If we start bouncing back up, and we're looking good, we're going to land somewhere in between where we're at now and the 20,000 that we were at before.
So somewhere
we're
between
that
this,
bouncing
we're about
ball.
7,000 and 20,000. So when we kind of dropped originally, it kind of floated around 10 to 11, and it was sitting almost kind of too comfortably around 10 to 11. So we're hoping it goes back up to that.
Time will really tell at this moment in time. It's going to be a matter of watching it step by step. If we start breaking this 78.6 retracement level and fall under it, it's going to hit all those stop losses of individuals that bought back in at the optimal level, and they don't want to take the risk, so they know if it drops under that, guess what? I'm done.
Sold.
So if you're buying in at the 7,000 and you put a stop loss in at, I don't know, 6,750, you're like, this is all I'm willing to risk.
Right.
I'm buying in at the best optimal time. You know, you got the nuts flush in your hand. You're like, well, this is the best. But if it goes any under that, I'm out of the game. And then we're going to see another mad decrease in that price. So it's really going to be watching this price over the next day or two, maybe 3, to see where this ends up. Could this be the Bitcoin bubble bursting?
What is this, the 6th? I still say that we're going to go below around the 7th and 8th. I still think we're going to drop a little bit more on this third quarter square moon. I really do.
I don't think we're done yet. I don't think we're done.
I think we will get that bump around the solar eclipse on the 15th. I do think people are going to start to buy back in and we'll see a bump, but I think we're going back down.
I know there are so many Bitcoin Cash holders just cheering on the destruction of Bitcoin. I mean, the feuds that's going on between Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash. Who is the original gangster? I kind of want to see Bitcoin Cash personally take the lead. I would love to see Bitcoin Cash.
I agree. I sold my Bitcoin at 18.8, and I made some really good moves.
Good
Not
for
gonna
you.
lie, I got into the BCH at a good price, and well, not as good as it is now, but you know,
That's the game we play, though.
it certainly is.
But what you make it for, what you lose on the peanuts, you make it for in the bananas.
Right, I'm not scared. See, I'm the kind of guy that I buy a used car and drive it until it's done. You know what I mean? So I do not have this automated system set up to where it's just like, well, once it hits 0, I'm gonna pull my money out. Well, it's worth. No, it's just like I'm in. You know, I'm on roulette. I'm in roulette mode. It's just like I'm gonna put that hun bun down and I'm gonna let it ride. Hun bun, yeah, big ball over here. You know, but nonetheless, I'm gonna let it ride. I'm a hollow kind of guy.
It's going to be a matter of red and black, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, I think. I mean, of all the individuals, even the North American Bitcoin Conference itself said, I am not taking Bitcoin anymore. I mean, if that's not some red flags for you, I don't really know what
We
is.
still got McDonald's coming out. We've got the Mark Cubans. There's, and it's interesting, and it is certainly a split. It is a clear fork down the road. Now, what I'm curious about is if you have one, does that mean the other won't be there? You know, I part of me thinks that Bitcoin will still be around for some of the big dogs, and this is purely speculation, but because of the higher transfer fees, because of the slower times, and because they're working within the same maximum coins, the Bitcoin Cash coins and the Bitcoin coins are really from the same source, right? It's like once the Great Lakes are pulled, that's all you get. So Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are the same spooling source. So I kind of feel that they're still going to be used, but one's going to be more of a trading currency and one's going to be like a hold on to.
Store of value.
Right. So sometimes I do kind of have the back of my head that a Bitcoin's going to be like the gold, and that Bitcoin Cash would be the paper that we use to transfer these funds, and this gold just kind of sits there and is only used for certain people that hold on to it, or I don't know.
Now, keep in mind also, the Bitcoin transaction fee has actually gone down immensely. But what else went down immensely? The individuals using it. They don't have to mine as much. They don't. There's not as much congestion on the network.
Right.
All of these things, it's increasing the transaction speeds. Well, yeah, of course it's going to if nobody's really using it, if nobody's really mining it.
But the fees are still out there. That's one of the things that's killing me, that I was happy to move over to the Bitcoin Cash and a bunch of other coins because
Absolutely.
of fees.
I mean,
are
when
out
you're
of control.
talking pennies to dollars, just right off the bat, you're going to want to go with the pennies. For sure.
Which again which throws out that idea that like the common folk are going to get into the Bitcoin Cash to where the billionaires might have some stake into the Bitcoin. So when I look at Bitcoin at less than $7,000 right now, and it's funny, it wasn't even on the map for so many people. So many people were just Bitcoin and all this stuff was just it was fugazi. It didn't matter, it was just something. It was like monopoly money to where, and then all of a sudden it gained popularity and it's real. So when it hit $10,000 and people are turning heads like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever heard of. Hit 20 and it dropped back down just to 7. Now we're still talking about around $7,000 for this coin. We're still talking about a huge increase over the year from 2017.
700%, still 700%.
Right. So even though we're looking at this drop right now, this decrease in value over the month. Now, also, if you look at these charts, like on a yearly basis, since these coins were created, every January it went down. Every single January it went down.
Since 2013, as far as we've looked back, since CoinMarketCap existed, every single time.
So this is not an unexpected trend. This is not something that is really catching anyone off guard that's been in the game for more than 2 months. If you've only been in for 2 months and you're freaking out, you're not experienced enough to know what's going on. And that's why there's a ton of people around you that are going to be able to help you out, because to get your hands deep into this, you got to go deep. And sometimes there's guys that you need to refer to, like this guy right here, who seriously spends so much time diving into these coins. And I'm like, Aaron, I don't know what half of this is or what this is, because I'm looking at a different set of charts. And he's just, I got you, dude. This is this is what this is, and it's backed by this. And I'm like, oh.
It's great to have not only just a certain person, if you can't, great, but even a lot of the Facebook communities out there, a lot of the classes, it's worth spending. I've spent hundreds of dollars just on trading videos, on investment videos, on wallet videos, etc.
So who's this? Who's the fuzzy hair guy that was like the big stockbroker that's claiming to be this like the crypto omen man? The
one you see on Facebook
all the time. Now let me just share something. There is a ton of people. There's a ton of stock people. We're not talking about stocks here. And there's a ton of stockbrokers and investors that are familiar with that process. We're all under the same sun here. Yes. We're not talking about the same game, okay? So when I see these guys talking about stocks, coming over here talking about crypto, they're so off. They're so off. And there is a difference between the tech community that knows about this stuff and understands these numbers, like this guy here, tech freaking genius, okay? And someone who's been in the stock market for a very long time. Now, they do add value. I'm not going to say that. But I'll be honest with you. I watched some of these videos that the gentleman put out, and I'm not going to discredit him at all. But I will hands down say that some of the stuff that this dude threw out was so far off, and the dates came and passed, and you know what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened on these dates that were supposedly, again, I'm not trying to badmouth or talk down about anybody, but there are a lot of credible sources out there, and there are a lot of things that simply aren't, that people are just making guesswork and saying, well, this applied to this, so maybe it applies to this. Now, you can even look at what I'm doing in this scenario as that, and I'm going to say by supply and demand of what the information is that I want to give you, to determine that information on yourself, because this is all very, very, very real, how the astrology plays into the crypto world, all right? It is uncanny. I mean, if you just watched yesterday's episode, we just tore apart that 1988, The Economist magazine.
Phoenix and the Burning Dollars and
astrology based, okay? So many of these things are, and it's just like red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm seeing it's like, okay, when so many things just jump out at you and present themselves, it's not, when you see, a sign that says stop ahead, it's not a prediction that you're going to stop ahead. You clearly saw the sign, and now you've seen another sign that says stop. It's kind of that easy.
And it's also interesting to me, like the aspect of astrology with cryptocurrency is, remember, a general view of cryptocurrency in its relation to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the numbers and charts that we look at are total market cap for all cryptocurrencies. It's not that one coin that you have such and such amount of money invested into, and we don't speak to one particular coin, although we will do that here and there, but
Yeah.
it's not going to be directly related to the planets because we're not here to predict. We're here to correlate the two in the instances that happen, and these events that are happening up in the sky, these events that are happening down on the ground. which
As
is
above, so below.
fascinating.
As above, so
Absolutely.
below. I know as it reflects. And just like how we're not going into, specifically, and we'll talk about the different coins like Aaron said, but it's like, just like the same as I'm not talking about how this is going to affect a Cancerian, or how are these going to affect, if your sun sign is in Aquarius, okay? If you want to find out, email me and I'd be happy to do your chart for you, okay? And I can tell you when to make these money moves that are according to your personal natal chart.
Now that's some fascinating stuff.
It is. It's bananas, folks. We'll get into that, okay? But we're talking on general scales, and we're talking about the community. We're talking about the history and the evolution of it as an entirety, as the whole, not small scale stuff. So importantly noted.
Well, what do you think we end our day here with a
Little true wisdom card of the
true
day.
wisdom card? I'm going to cut the deck this time.
All right. What do you got? There
Oh,
it is.
It's always a split.
It's
like
a split.
It's laid out for us.
What do we have? This one is the Mad Hatter. All right, the Joker card by the Mad Hatter. I knew who I was this morning, but I've changed a few times since then.
Love it.
Again, I love these cards are so funny and how things can just stick out and relate to you. Where you woke up this morning, what those numbers were, what was your attitude when you woke out of bed and you saw those and you said, explicit to delete, whatever, but who are you? Take a couple deep breaths, go on about your day, relax. This stuff is going to come back around, okay? I'm not some prediction clairvoyant, but I'm telling you, you can see this stuff when you look at these charts. These numbers will come back around. This is going to come back up. Have some peace.
Money comes and money goes. It's important that we stay grounded and focused.
That's right. And don't spend more than you're willing to lose. And believe in what you buy and buy what you believe in.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, everybody.
That's right. Hit that little bell so you can stay notified and we're coming back at you with some more good information.
Until next time on
CryptoCosm.